I thought I'd do a video tonight. I haven't done one in a long time. I keep hearing about Eric Holder, Bill Clinton, Hillary, Barack. All these people connected. They're connected by money and what Obama has, which is priceless information that he spied on at least 5% of the United States citizens, and he spied on foreign governments. Angela Merkel's phone calls. This guy's seriously, when he ran for the first time, he was really against the Patriot Act that George Bush and Dick Cheney had put together. And he just railed on it about it being the biggest invasion of privacy in American history. Well, it's pretty funny that he got rid of every part except for the part he wanted, where he could tape and unmask people and build blackmail files, build any kind of files he wanted, any kind of files he needed to get people to do things. I don't know if you've watched, but I have. I've watched the Democratic Party in the last year snap to attention, click their heels, salute Obama and Hillary, and they're just committing suicide themselves. Their party has zero. They have zero vision. They have zero anything other than saying tax cut was for the rich. Trump's against all minorities. Immigration, everything. You guys use this kind of crap anytime it suits you. But when it doesn't suit you, you really don't care. Because we're all basket of deplorables. Remember Hillary? We all are. Except for the royalty, you guys are. You're our royal family. You are definitely two of the biggest crime families the United States has ever witnessed. Hillary, you're mainly money, influence, power. Barack added one thing to that, though. Information. Taped information. Information people can't deny. Which one would you rather have? I'd rather have both like he does. He can make people do things that they'd never do. But they don't want this information getting out. So, I've been hearing about Eric Holder, and I just had to remind people of Eric Holder and Bill Clinton. Eric Holder was a U.S. Deputy Attorney General. And with Bill Clinton, there's a guy named Mark Rich. Mark Rich had commodities company, he moved money around, he did things, but what his biggest thing was they said there was a secret pipeline from Iran to Israel for oil. And what did the Iranians get? They got food. This guy was out there, okay? He was part of Mossad. He had so many influential people in the Jewish community that pressured Bill Clinton so hard to pardon him. He had already been convicted and sentenced. He was convicted by Rudy Giuliani, and he was sentenced by the judge for 5 99-year terms. You gotta be somebody really bad if you got 5 99-year terms. And on Clinton's last day in office, him and Eric Holder, they pardoned him. Before that, they pardoned his partner. Now, what's been said is that once he was pardoned, his wife, Denise Rich, she donated $1 million or over $1 million to the DNC, $100,000 to Hillary's campaign as a senator, and $450,000 to the Clinton Library. Now, Jimmy Carter even said that this pardon really looks bad because of all the gifts that were given. Now, if Jimmy Carter says that, man, dude, you've really screwed up. Okay? So, Rich, he had all this Jewish influence that Bill Clinton said should have never done the pardon because it ruined his reputation. Oh my God, you don't think the women before that ruined your reputation, Bill? This had nothing, oh my, this was nothing compared to what you did to women. Okay? But this guy was a bad guy. He should have never been pardoned. Okay? And then, all of a sudden it was changed to where he couldn't be charged with a criminal act. The only thing that you could charge him for was civil lawsuits. I want to know how that happened. Because this Harvard professor and this other professor said they don't see any crimes and they don't even see civil actions. Wow. You know, Eric Holder, you're one of the worst persons that have happened in the United States. When you became Obama's Attorney General, you gave Hillary an 18-month head start on her emails. And during that 18 months, that her $3,000 an hour mouthpieces and her 2 aide attorneys were going through all the emails. And then the soap opera that you guys put out about the emails that you had already written off that she was going to walk. So that 18 months was a waste of time. No. It wasn't a waste of time. It was enough time to close the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton Global Initiative. And have John Podesta, as it said, convert $5 billion in cash into non-traceable assets. Diamonds, gold, bitcoins, all kinds of stuff like that, okay? So, as a country, we were played. We were played to let Hillary off. We were played to let their money, because that money connected to a lot of people. The other thing on Uranium One where Hillary says it's been debunked, maybe that has to do with the informant they had inside that Obama gagged for 7 years. He couldn't talk about anything. They threatened him with jail time. They threatened him with everything. So he couldn't talk. Until Attorney General Sessions wrote a letter, let him off of it. He has tapes, he has all kinds of things. They say briefcases full of money were exchanging. And Robert Mueller, you are right in the middle of that. You took highly enriched uranium to the Soviets. And then you ended up selling 20% of our uranium. Oh my God. The people in this country that don't believe that, they better look it up. They better figure out that this, all of a sudden they had this extra trucking company that bought into this that could take the uranium out of the United States. Because that was the first part of the deal, that you couldn't do that. Couldn't take it out of the United States. Well, that ended real quick. You ought to, there's so much that's intertwined, okay? When Rich was being pardoned, Bush sent Sally Jo White, a DOJ attorney, to sign off on the pardon. She resigned 2 weeks later. Then 2 weeks after that, she became the head of the SEC. Oh my gosh, that was a good job to get. So they reached back into the DOJ, and who do they pull out? James Comey, who was one of the attorneys that voted on Hillary's to not indict Hillary for her two unbelievable investments. Okay? Unbelievable investments. But he signed off on that. So they brought him in. Him, Eric Holder, and Bill Clinton, they signed off on the pardon. Bush had signed off now, so. But Comey, in 6 months, he resigned from the DOJ. Why? Well, at least 90% of all defense firms are controlled by the governments. By the Democrats. And Comey became the lead counsel for Lockheed Martin. 4 years, $6 million. Their lead counsel. Doesn't know anything about their business, but he becomes their lead counsel. Then he gets a Heritage Fellowship, then he gets this. He gets all these jobs that all pay at least $1 million. But then he becomes part of HSBC's board, their holdings board. They have banks, and then they have subprime lending here in the United States, okay? But in Geneva, Switzerland, they have a bank there that's very strong. For a while it was. Until it got investigated for money laundering. And there was only 2 guys that went to jail. The 2 guys James Comey pushed the investigation to. Two Mexican drug cartel leaders. Who are the only people that did hard time. But just a few of the other account holders. Jeff Epstein, Immelt, Soros, Frank Giustra, if you name one, the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, and all their other billionaire friends. Hillary's been the queen of money laundering for so long. And when I knew she had bought the DNC, first thing I thought of was, what a way to money launder. Send it out to all the DNC accounts and then bring it back. It's clean then. She owned the DNC. She could do whatever she wanted. If you guys don't think that's true, well, you know what? You better study a little bit more of how things work. They tried to use these attorneys, which they're going to be busted for that. But the other things, I don't think you can trace that stuff. I don't think even a forensic accountant can figure that stuff out. You know? And Holder. The Fast and Furious, they got 2 of our border agents killed because they can't carry weapons in Mexico. But you sent a bunch of our weapons over there because you figured you could track them, and then you lost them. But that's never talked about. Eric Holder, he's been great. And now I hear that you're on $1 million retainer out in California to bring suit against Trump anytime that you could possibly do it. You know, and your old boss, he still thinks he's president. I think you ought to go and see somebody about that. You know, he's no longer president. I don't care what he thinks. There's too many things that are going wrong with this country. And the people, the talking heads on the Democratic side, they have 5 things that they can talk about. They're given a little card. And their whole job is to just talk louder and louder and louder. The same stuff. And just say it louder and louder and louder and louder until the people watching just get so fed up because they can't handle that you don't just turn the guy's mic off. I don't believe any talking heads. Okay? I believe things that have happened. Okay? I believe Obama spied on many, many people. I believe Eric Holder. But giving Hillary the heads up, that's the sad part. She was selling influence so bad. And her husband, who made $50 million in speeches, and he went down to Panama. You remember the Panama Papers? There were 2 attorneys setting up dummy corporations. He had 2 of them with $25 million each in them. You know what? Instead of Russian collusion, let's start investigating these people that have ripped us off for years. Aren't you tired of the Dems ripping us off? I am. Why aren't you? Because you're part of it? Damn, why? We're not that stupid. And we just let them just take all our money. You know, by letting Hillary walk on that, which all she had to do, really, this is all she had to do, was say, you know what, I'm sorry that me and some of my staff might have made some mistakes. I didn't realize that it was that bad because there were a lot of secretaries of state that had their own servers, and you know, I just made some mistakes. I'm sorry, and it will never happen again. And she'd have walked. She did get to walk, but everybody's forgotten the 10 lies she told under oath. She told Congress and all the American people. We've heard them all. Each one of those counts carries a fine and up to 2 years in jail. So Sessions, get some stones, man, and go take care of the problems. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of being whipped off by Democrats. First the S&L crisis. And that's Bill Clinton. Oh my God, he started that. That's what Hillary was stealing out of the Rose Law Firm, was boxes full of closing statements. And who had to pay for that? Us. $580 billion. How about Y2K? Yeah, let's get a few experts out here to tell everybody all about it. And, you know, let's sell them $100 billion worth of stuff they don't need. Let's get our government and everybody else having to buy stuff because they're thinking that their computers are going to crash. What a great scam, huh? And then the housing industry. Who knows if it was really $17 to $20 trillion? That's what Barack got for it. Who knows if that was truly how much it was? You know, the whole point was they were bundling these securities, and they were paying a much higher rate of return than most investments. So all the big pension funds that got into them, all of Obama's billionaires, all of Hillary's billionaires, tons of people got into it. But Barack sent out his 2 banking guys, Chris Dodd and Barney Frank, to tell us that Fannie and Freddie were sound. And it was just to give Barack's people that are invested 3 months to get out. And then they come out in 3 months and say, Oh, both those places, both those things, the clearinghouses, they're bankrupt. Now wait a minute, how could your banking guys come out 3 months before that and say there was nothing wrong, and then all of a sudden, they're just bankrupt? Now, Barack and Hillary's people, they all got out. But, you know, the teachers union, they lost half of their pension for all teachers. Half! Damn. And then we had Obama paying stockholders before bondholders. What the hell? And then the rest of our country just says, oh, okay. They destroyed our country, man. First time I saw Tim Geithner taken to the Fed, I said, man, there's no stopping how much money they're going to print and rip off. Okay? That's why I think a lot of this stuff hasn't been brought out, because there's so much money involved. And as the United States, we can't just say, hey, you know, they printed, you know, another 30 trillion and they took it places, you know, and gave it to Hezbollah, or let them deal drugs to us. You know, I knew when Obama was talking about before he was president that Afghanistan's the war, not Iraq. He pulls out of Iraq, ISIS is formed, and he's in Afghanistan now for the next 12 years with all 90% of the world's heroin. 90% of the world's opioids. They come from Afghanistan. All the poppy fields. I have 2 nephews that have done 5 one-year combat tours there as Marines. They haven't cut down a damn field yet. What the hell is that? It's like George Bush letting Noriega fly in C-130s full of blow into Mena, Arkansas, so he could get 10% to do black ops and go down and arrest all those Colombian drug cartel leaders because Noriega set him up. Well, then Noriega, being the stupidest person in the world, tried to take the Panama Canal over. And we had to go down there and invade Panama for that. So, I know this tape is so long, but I'm telling you, there's so much stuff going on in this country right now. Trump's trying to... He's like that boy in the dike and trying to put his fingers in all the holes. Obama stirred up this entire world. He took a thing to every hornet's nest in the world and said, okay, Trump, now you deal with it. And we just let it happen. Because the Democrats, they control 95% of the media. They just tell everybody the way it is. It's all lies. They've had to walk back so many lies. And I don't believe everybody on Fox either. The whole thing's just a massive setup to steal. And to blackmail people into doing stuff. And until Trump changes the judges around this country, we're going to have these liberal judges doing the dumbest ass things. Okay? And if you don't think they have already, something's wrong with you. America, wake up! Get rid of these fucking crooks, okay?